What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to 3M1S episode 2. On this week's episode, I will be watching some YouTube videos, some tutorials on how to throw a disc properly, and just some tips from actual professional disc golf players. Yes, there are professionals that play for money. Yes, there is. I'm also going to be talking about the rules of the game, and I'm also going to be dissecting footage from last week so that I can apply it out on the field when I go practice, so I know what I'm doing wrong and right. The first thing I want to do is talk about some of the rules of disc golf. They're pretty simple rules that I remember from when I first started playing disc golf years ago. There's some rules that I learned recently, and there's still rules that I don't know. I don't know tournament rules, but I know recreational rules. These are the rules that I know, and we're going to compare to the real rules. These are rules that I think there are and what I know versus the real rules. First rule
of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
You cannot pass the front of the pad. If you're on a concrete pad, you cannot cross the front of it until after the disc has released from your hands. It's lava, baby. On the outside of it, you have to stay there until you throw the disc. That's what I think. Don't go quote me, I don't know for sure, but right after this clip, we'll see if I'm right or wrong. When the disc is released, the player must have at least one supporting point in contact with the surface of the teeing area. Okay, that's interesting. Basically, you have to keep at least 1 foot down when teeing off. You can't, bicycle kick your way to the basket. Next rule I want to go over is the player's turns. The player that's furthest from the basket always goes first. Always. Just like traditional golf. This is a cool little fun fact here. If the thrown disc breaks into pieces, the largest piece is deemed to be the thrown disc. That's pretty intense. Do not cross in front of someone else's disc, especially when it's their turn. But don't ever cross in front of their disc unless you have to, unless you absolutely have to, but ask first. Otherwise, you're gonna get hit with the D-bag alert. Right before you shoot, you always have to place a marker down where your disc was. If you're planning on using the disc you just threw, place a marker down right in front of it, pick up the disc you threw, step right behind it, and throw your next disc. You cannot pass that mark until after the disc has landed, after you've thrown it. I believe you can stand on the side of the disc as long as you're still behind it. So there's a clip where I have my foot down and then my body's kind of to the right, or my knee or something like that. I think it's my knee. I'll just show right now. Yeah, it's my knee, and you can see I'm off to the side. I'm trying to throw past a tree. I think that's correct. We will see after this clip. The position of the disc is inbounds, but only within 1 meter of the out of bounds line. The lie may be marked by placing a marker disc on the playing surface at any point of the 1 meter line that extends. Wow, that's okay. We're not gonna go over that. Putting. Any throw from within 10 meters of the target is considered a putt. Out of bounds. That's a pretty big rule. Your disc goes in the water, then what? Now, I think this is the rule just because of traditional golf. I believe that if your disc is in the water and you cannot retrieve it, then you have to drop at the closest plane that it crossed over the land before it hit the water. Or if there's a drop area. That's also in traditional golf. I don't know if there's drop areas in disc golf. Bear with me. Some of you probably go, wow, Dylan, you're terrible at knowing anything about this sport. That's what this week is for. I'm supposed to learn more about it. Duh. You must drop a disc either in the drop zone or the last place it crossed over land before it went into the water. And then you get a penalty stroke. Your first throw is a tee off. It lands in the water. You can't find it, you gotta drop somewhere. You drop a disc, that's another throw. That's considered another throw, another stroke, whatever. And then you throw again after that, that's your third shot. So now it's your third throw. So if it's a par 3 and you hit the water, you're gonna be shooting for par wherever you have to drop. So good luck. A player whose disc is declared lost shall receive 1 penalty throw. Like I said before, the next throw shall be made from the previous lie. Something to know, something to know now. That's really all the things that you really need to think about when you play disc golf. That's pretty much it for the rules right there. I was wrong with some of them, mainly the water one. The other ones are pretty much the same rules. So now let's watch some footy on how to get better with the disc goofy.
Thing that I see a lot of people do is not use their full upper body when throwing a drive. I see a lot of people reach back and really keep compact with their right shoulder coming into their left shoulder, and sometimes that makes you grab the disc with 2 hands. One thing that will really help you not do that anymore will be use your left shoulder and reach all the way back, not just reaching back, but using your full upper body and turning it backwards and mirroring your left shoulder with your right shoulder so it does not get in the way from you reaching back. But once you reach all the way back and extend your arm, I see a lot of people go from here and they try to pull through their chest. And when you try to pull through your chest, you don't use any of your muscles on your arm or your body at all. The best thing to do would be to crouch over just a little bit and come through your core area and really pull through and use the back part of your arm. One thing that you want to stay away from is when you're pulling through, you don't come away from your body. And when you come through your core, you're using all of your muscles right here and your forearm. But when you're coming away from your body, there's no type of muscles being used, and it's a lot of wrist. So when you pull through, make sure you're coming close to your body, leading with your elbow, instead of coming around and away from your body. Keep it close.
After watching those clips on YouTube there of how to hold a disc, how to throw a disc properly, I'm ready to do it. Let's go.
All right, guys, like I said, I came out to the park here so I could practice my technique, because you can clearly see in the footage that I had no idea what I was doing. So we got this huge open space, 2 soccer field lengths, so I can get there and really practice my distance. But the first thing I want to work on is my grip, because before I was gripping it kind of like this. In that video, oh yeah, flex it. I was gripping it like this. In the video, he said more on the rim here. So I'm gonna try that today, see how that feels. And I'm gonna use the palm of my hand to push down on it. I'm gonna go ahead and stretch out a little bit. All right, the first thing we do is practice without the disc so I can get the motion down right. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a line down the soccer field. I'm gonna try to keep my accuracy there. I'm also gonna be shooting with the wind, so it will help me. I'm running to get this disc because I only have one of these discs, and I gotta learn how to throw one at a time.
You're gonna fight it all?
The 15th rule of Fight Club is you do not interrupt me when I'm reading the rules of Fight Club. No, just kidding. The 15th rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.